Hello and welcome back to Idle Time Barbecue. Today we're going to spatchcock a chicken, and we're using our new barbecue drippies container, which is really cool. So this is the new barbecue drippies V2 container, and it's really cool because it expands. It's got a rigid bottom and it's got a rigid shell around the outside. So let's open it up, and it expands down, which is great. And then this is a cutting board, so we're actually going to use that to spatchcock our chicken. So spatchcocking a chicken is really easy. What you need to do is flip it over to get to the backside. So you can tell it's the backside because that's where the neck bone is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn it like this, and then we're going to cut along each side. We're going to use our scissors to do that. So we have a good set of shears. I'll put links to these products, plus we have a comparison of a whole slew of them. So we start just cutting down, and what we're trying to do is cut as near to the bone as we can, to the backbone as we can, and it's as simple as that. Okay, so there's one half, and then we flip it around, and we're going to the, and actually there's some liquid in there. Okay, so and then we're going to want to cut down the other side here. So that's going to cut like right down there. Make sure you don't cut your fingers. Whoops. And you need a good pair because you're actually cutting through the bone. Okay, so there, we've done that, and we're going to save this for making stock. So we'll just stick that in our chicken leftover parts bag and go from there. So I'm also going to, I think, just throw some of these little bits in there. Okay, so that's what the inside of the chicken looks like. The next thing that you need to do is we need to break the breastbone, which is right here. So you can just press down on it, but there's also an easier way that I do. So I just take my knife and I give it a little cut right there in the middle like that, which just helps it break, and then I smush it down. So now it moves really easily. And actually this chicken has a huge chunk of something on the end, so I'm just going to use the scissors to cut it. Yeah, it's just, yeah, that's not going to help us. I'll put that in there too. Okay, so that's how you spatchcock a chicken. And there it is, it's all nice and spatchcocked. We'll cook it flat like this. Okay, now that we've spatchcocked our chicken, we're going to do a dry brine on it. So basically what that means is we're going to put a bunch of salt on it and let that sit in the refrigerator overnight. The great thing about this tub is that I'm going to pull up the sides, put that on it, stick it in the fridge, and my wife doesn't have to look at raw meat right in the fridge. So I'm just using standard kosher salt. So what I'm just going to do is we're going to actually start on the bottom. We'll start on the bottom. Everyone gets it. And we're going to, problem with doing stuff outside is the bugs, especially with a big old piece of raw meat hanging out. Go. We want to put a pretty good amount because the objective here is to have the salt pull the moisture out of the meat, at least out of the top layer of the meat, allow it to get crispy. Now we're just going to flip it over and we're going to do the same. So this is really key to have it on the skin side, because that'll really force the skin to dry up and kind of compact itself. Okay, so before I close it up, I'm just gonna just clean up a little bit here. This stuff is fine, we'll blow that, wipe that off. I am gonna wipe under the bird. Now that we've opened it, it's a little wet down there, and I really want to get it to be as dry as possible. Okay, so there's our chicken. We're gonna pull up all the sides of this, and there it is inside the container. And then we're going to put our lid on. I'm going to wipe it down before I put it in the fridge, but this is how it'll go in the fridge, just like that. Today we're going to be making a spatchcock chicken with our slow and sear and our Spider Grills Venom. So I put my leftover charcoal in there, and we're going to be adding more. And today we're going to be using Fogo premium hardwood lump charcoal. And I'm just going to put a little bit more in. Now I'm gonna pull the big pieces out, because really what I want is to have, I think, some smaller pieces. There you go. Because I usually save those bigger pieces for bigger burns, longer burns. So that's a good enough amount of charcoal to start with. And then we're gonna get that going. We're gonna open our vents on the bottom all the way, and we're going to hit it with the grill blazer, but what I'm going to try and do is just get this center part going. Get the center part burning. And it's popping like crazy. You can see it popping everywhere. So I'm actually going to move a little further away, because what I want is to get it nice and hot. Our coals have ignited and we've turned on our Spider Venom. So now we're going to control it, and it says it's 103 degrees. We're going to set a target temp, hopefully. It says it says it's not engaged. Okay. So that was an interesting thing. So the app control turned off even though I still had the app. So I had to press the Wi-Fi button once to turn on and engage it. So now hopefully we should be able to come here and set, we're gonna do 225. Okay, and it says close the vent all the way. We're going to put our lid on, and I'm sure it's open a little bit. Okay, so it basically says slightly open. It's putting a lot of fan heat in there because it doesn't, we just turned it on. So we'll let it get up to temp, and then we'll put our chicken on. Okay, well, our grill has been adjusting in temperature. I was hoping to get some lower and slower. I set it at 250, but it's kind of been fluctuating. I set it at 225 and then 250, trying to get a little closer. But it's been fluctuating up to 300, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. But anyway, I want to eat, so we're gonna put our spatchcock chicken on. I did end up seasoning it both sides with Traeger rub. So we're gonna open this up, and we're gonna put the bird on. Again, it's gonna be breast side. I'm gonna actually push it back a little bit here, because we're gonna put we're gonna put the vent over the top. So we're doing breast side towards the heat, since that's the biggest piece of meat. And I have two probes. I have a meter probe, and then this probe I'm going to plug into the Spider Grills, and let's see how it goes. You know, I'm hoping that we get some really good color on it, because what I would like to do is cook it, and then goose the temp really high, so to get it up to about 400 degrees. So we're gonna close that down, and we're gonna let it cook for a couple of hours and see what happens. One last thing I am gonna do before we let it go is I'm gonna open up this side over here, and I have a piece of hickory that I'm just gonna stick in there. I'd like to get a little smoke flavor, and that's just it's a hickory chunk I cut down into a smaller size. So I have a little hatchet. Oh man, you can already smell it. I have a little hatchet that I use to kind of adjust that. So hopefully we'll get some good smoke on our chicken, and we'll come back and check it in an hour or two. Hopefully this comes through on the video, but you can definitely see where smoke is coming out along here. Of course it's coming out here, but you can see some escaping here where the probes are plugged in. You know, so that kind of makes me think that I'll need to get a seal. But we'll see how that goes once the once everything, you know, settles down a little bit on the inside there. Okay, our chicken has reached 135 degrees on the internal temperature. So I goosed the Venom to 400 degrees, and it says I need to open this to half. So that's full. We're going to call that half. We're going to open it up and take a look at it and see what it looks like. Ooh, and that's looking pretty good. Oh, and the skin's actually pretty nice down here. This is looking really good. So we're going to let that cook at 400 until we get to the end, and let's hopefully we get some super crispy skin. I'm not sure if all of it's quite at 165, but I feel like it's like there's some parts right there that are below 165 according to this. And there's other parts right around it that are much higher. So you know what, I am going to take it off, and if we need to heat it inside, then we will. But I think it's time for it to come off. Okay, and there it is. That is a good looking bird. I'm going to take it inside and we're going to let it rest, and then we're going to have dinner. But I think that bird came out amazing. And the skin is really crispy, that's one of my favorite parts. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like it, subscribe, share it with your friends, and send us some comments to let us know what you thought, if you have any ideas, or what videos you'd like to see us make. Thank you very much. See you all later. Bye-bye.